Oh my God. Everybody, look at you all. Welcome to Thursday. A very heavily delayed 6 month late. I'm back. Oh my gosh. Joe, Matt, Nikki, Kenzie, Dan, Justin, Jessica Bunny. You guys. Oh my god. Nico Trooper, Peachy Herms. Look at you all. Can you hear me okay? Can you see me okay? How's it feeling? I forgot to turn on music. Classic. Sound is bomb. It's beautiful. Cat attack. Oh my gosh, you guys. Hi. It's been long. I'm emotional. Let me see. Oh, that's not working. That's okay for now. We don't have to play music for now. Ah, I'm glad everything has worked out. All y'all regulars know how it goes, or how it's been before. I've always had some bumpy rides getting this set up, but Dan helped me out, Matt helped me out, Justin helped me out. We've got a perfect stream session ready to go. It's recording, ready for YouTube once we're done. We're painting Mike Wazowski tonight. I thought it'd be fun to start it off. Where's my hands? Oh, with this little cutie. Who doesn't like Monsters Inc., right? Oh my god, Jessica Bunny's not painting, but just wanted to pop in and welcome me back. You sweet angel. Thank you. Good to see so many familiar faces. How's everyone been? What's up? Let's see if I remember how to paint tonight. How many people are painting along today? Do we have some, like, hands waved? I think I saw a little RCV there for a minute, too. Look at y'all. Oh, we got a little wave from Nikki. Sweet angel. Perfect. I've been seeing some of your paintings. Girl, they've been coming a long way. That tiger. Beautiful. I love that you guys have been painting away these last 6 months. Nico, you too. P. Germs painting for the first time in a long time. Hey, I'm going to take a little responsibility for that. No, good. We love to have every type of painter here. One day we'll get D. Lois to join around, right? Okay. Do I just get into it? Is that how we do it? Let me go over them little old rules. I still have the same Post-it taped to my computer that I went over 6 months ago. So let's just keep it back. Let's keep it as normal as you. What am I trying to say, you guys? We'll keep it as original as we can, okay? Number one, I'm obviously not a trained teacher, okay? So I've just been painting my whole life. So if I go too fast, if I explain something weird, if you want some, a little bit more explanation, let me know. It'll help probably other people watching in the future on YouTube and people that aren't caffeine users because they can't comment below. Questions will help everybody and it'll help me learn to be a better teacher. Big pot. Heyo. Look at you, all familiar faces. I'm just frazzled. I don't even know how to begin. Number two. A lot of people like to start with pencil. A lot of people would start with pencil as well. Sometimes I would start with pencil, but for the sake of being a painting class, I always start with paint, and you at home can too. Use a nice skinny paintbrush, but if you want, don't feel bad to start with pencil. I'll tell you when to stop using pencil. Oh, Sarah's back. Justin, look at that goat. I just about called that a Bitmoji. That's how long it's been. It's not a Bitmoji. It's a prop. I love it. Okay, where I'm at number 3. Make sure you don't treat your painting too precious, okay? That's one of my biggest rules. It's probably gonna look weird throughout, like halfway through. Ours aren't gonna look the same. It's all gonna look off. But if you trust the process, which is rule number 4, you'll always get something at the end that you would never expect to have been able to at the start, okay? We've had a lot of first-time painters be so proud of their final results, or at the start worry that they won't be able to do it. You always can, you guys. You always can. Number 5 is water is your friend. We're using acrylic paint. So any type of water usually solves most problems that you'll have. You're going to hear me telling you often to wet your brush and get that ready. And, number 6, it literally says, have frickin' fun. Okay? It literally says frickin' on this piece of paper. Let's have fun, okay? This is all about just forgetting what's going on outside, just having fun and hanging out with a bunch of regulars. It usually is the same group of us every Thursday, which is pretty cool. And look at us all like acids here. Oh my goodness. I've never even seen that prop either. It's new for everyone. I am back. I'm back slowly but surely. I'm a little rusty. I'm dusting off those cobwebs. I've been nervous all day, okay? What did Kenzie say? No more cement apartment walls messing with your quality. You guys, is it smooth? Is everything nice and clear? All good to go? The apartment was a journey. We pay for some good internet here. And we only have one neighbor. We shouldn't be able to hear them very often. The store's closed. Oh, you guys, I'll have a whole other stream explaining the last 6 months because that's been wild. Wild, wild. Oh, big pot. Thank you. Oh, I love that you guys just follow along on the journeys. And you're still here and I love it. Okay? So, I always tell you guys to take a deep breath, but I think today I need to take a deep breath. It's probably because I'm drinking a Red Bull. So I'm just wilding out. Ready for the day. Big pot. It's not creepy to creep my Instagram. I post everything on my Instagram because I want you guys to see it. I love that. People always say, they're like, sorry, I liked a picture that was so deep. I'm like, no, that's cool. Like, I want you to go that far down my Instagram. Okay? Sponsored. Red Bull. Hey, aren't they on caffeine too? Where's my momager? Look at, to keep up with all the adventures, Taytayski on all social. You sweet angel. All right, everybody. Let's take out your pencils, okay? If you're starting with a pencil. If not, let's take out your green. I'm using a light green blue shade, but people out there might not have green. You might have to use blue and yellow. But I did say on that Instagram post that it's best to bring a lime green. It's very hard to mix this bright of a color. I know some people get very frustrated if your Wazowski ain't the right color, okay? But, oops. Tay discovered Red Bull. God have mercy on us. I know. It's wild. Can't you already tell? I'm just like, let's see. And then Justin says that I have to dance for Red Bull, and that's just not something that's not on brand. You guys don't want to see me dance, okay? Alrighty then, folks. Let's do it. Even though I've said it 3 times already. I'm going to get out just like a skinnier brush if you're not using a pencil, right? Just a nice pointy guy. Kenzie asked, what about if I jump off the roof of a building jackass style? Could I be sponsored by Red Bull? I'd rather go in that direction than dance, to be honest. We've got this skinny brush. You're going to dip it in your water. Do you see the water pan over here? You're going to dip your brush in that water, and you're going to scoop it onto your palette, whatever you're using. You're going to peel a little bit of that green, and you're going to mix it into that water so you get a good chocolate milky consistency, right? You guys remember? It hasn't been too long to forget all the basics, but see at the bottom here, I am just spinning that green into the drops of water I brought from the water dish. Mine's going to be a little darker than yours has to be, just so that you guys can see it on the camera. But we're first going to look at the whole square and picture our little Wazowski in it, right? A rectangle is probably not the best shape to do it. Obviously, you look up in the square. The square is probably better. So we're not going to be able to make him as big as we want if we want to fit his whole crazy arms in there, right? So we're imagining the whole, where he's going to go. And then we're just going to make a big old circle, okay? Easy, right? Let's go. Alrighty then. How's that? I probably even made that a little big. We're just gonna squeeze his arms in there. But see how I did it around a couple times? You're never gonna draw a perfect circle in one go. Loop it around a bunch of times. This is our underpainting, right? Some of you guys are using pencil. We're gonna be covering it up completely. Do you see that nice little spinny? We're just talking about parkour in there, you guys. Michael Scott style. Parkour! And Nico's right. Won't dance, but we'll do rollerblading tricks. Hey. You're not wrong. I'm a contradiction. Hypocritical. What can I do? Alright. Do we have a nice circle? Right? Wobbly little guy. This one's... He's gonna be easy. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is not gonna be a difficult one. I know I've said that before, but this was... We'll see how long it's even gonna take. Now look where his little legs go, right? Always look at our reference photo. And let's just draw his first leg up to his knee. Triangle, maybe a little rectangle. Easy peasy. Right? And then this one side too. Let's get another leg. His is a little bit longer because he's leaned over a little bit. Once we get his eye in there, we'll see that he's on a little bit of an angle. And we're still using that chocolate milk consistency or our pencils, okay? And let's bring this down. It's basically just a little oval. Bean. Maybe a bean? Are you back to bean science already? It's basically little RCV. What's up? What's up? What's up? Look at these. Again, I've said it a bunch of times already today. These familiar faces. We're a little Thursday family. And I broke us all up. Sorry, everybody. I broke the family up. But we're back. Let's draw another little bean for this other little leg of his. That might be a little hard of an angle. That's okay. My favorite Monsters, Inc. character? I do love me some Mike Wazowski. But I don't know if he's my favorite. I just love Boo with all my heart. That sweet little angel. Okay. We basically already have Mike Wazowski finished. Mike is basic but acceptable. Right? Right? Congrats on the wedding. Oh, we got engaged. And little Just was a surprise at the engagement in Vegas, too. Oh my gosh, you guys, too many things have happened. I didn't get married. I didn't get married. We will get married. But I got engaged. Is he still here? He was here for a little bit there. Okay, little Mike Wazowskis. I stopped stalking for a minute. I did come to Vegas. We were in Vegas in October. I know. You stopped stalking the wrong time. I know. It's wild. Are you from Vegas? I love how Dan just gave us a prop for our engagement. I love that. You sweet little angel. You sweet little angel. You're nowhere near Vegas. Okay. Alright, we've got a little foot. Boop. I feel like I should be giving more instruction, but it's quite right. We're just another bean. Boop. And he liked it, so he put a dope ass ring on it, says Kenzie. She's not wrong. I'm not wearing it right now to get it painty. Oops. But he's not wrong. I'll show you one day. Don't you worry. It is a dope ring. Thank you, you little cuties. Okay. How's this? We've got a little eyeball on legs, which is basically what Mike Wazowski is. Right? And let's decide where his little arms should go. Right? If we look at the reference photo down here, try to see where this space is in between his leg and where his arm will go. It's always good to look at your photo to try to always make sure every piece that you're putting on the canvas makes sense. And you try to get as close to the reference as possible. So right, look, another little bean. We got a little nub coming out. Thanks, Jessica. Thanks for stopping in. That's so sweet of you. She's the OG, you guys. I'll never let you forget it. The reason we have paint nights is because of Jessica Bunny. She was the first, her and her husband were the first and only attendees of my first paint night on Caffeine. Before I started videotaping them and putting them on YouTube. Videotaping? Did I just age myself? Recording. So shout out to Jessica Bunny. All right. How is our little Monsters Inc. man coming? We've got one little nubbin, and now let's bring a longer bean. Right? Again, looking at that reference photo. Try to match it as close as we can. And when you try to match it, you look at all the little parts. It's like, okay, from his knee, where is that part of his wrist? Try to match it up on your picture. And if that makes no sense, don't worry about it. Just copy what I'm doing too. That works too. And let's put a big old square for where his hand's gonna go. Don't worry about fingers or anything yet. Just put a good old box where you think his little arm's gonna go. And we're just gonna make his waving arm go a little bit higher up so that it's not too close to the edge. I'm still using that chocolate milk consistency of green on here. And the reason I do this really watered down consistency is so that, oops, I pulled the camera down, is so that it's easy to paint over once we put more layers on it afterwards, okay? Because again, this is just our rough drawing underneath. So we can imagine that there's a line like this between his body where his one arm is. See, my paintbrushes were on this back end here. And we're going to see where it matches up here, and that's where we're going to start his other arm. Did that make sense? My paintbrush has some paint on it, and when I laid it down to try to get that angle, I just dipped it on that side to make this little line to see where I want to put that little old arm. And again, just a little old bean. Every painting can be put down into bean. And let's bring it on back up here. Fun fact, actually, Big Pot, talking about Mike Wazowski. Kenzie and I has a store, and in the store we have a mural done by a muralist here in Calgary. His name's Corey. I can put his stuff down there. It's a mural of our favorite things, and Mike Wazowski made it to that wall, so I guess that actually that is our favorite thing. He has to be the favorite. And they put his face behind the plug-in. Isn't that so funny? So he's like painted behind where we plug our stuff in. Just classic. It was a good. So creative, right? Genius. We love it. I'll see if I can find a picture of it. Hold on. But let's go back to our Mike Wazowski and let's make that waving hand, and we're gonna do the same thing, but it's just gonna be a longer rectangle. Like imagine. Don't worry about his thumb, but imagine. You're just making a box around his fingers. How's that? Can you guys see this okay? I know it's light, but I'll let you keep doing those shapes for a second while I try to find the Mike Wazowski. Oh my gosh, will I ever? My phone is filled to the brim with, let me see. Photos. It might take me too long. Kenzie, if you have a photo, text me it. No, I can, but I'm literally locked in so many cords, and every time I get out of here, I rip the camera cord out, and I'm too scared to leave. Oh, wait. Oh, no, I don't have it there. I'm too scared to leave. By the end. I'll do it at the end if I don't have a good picture of it. Anyway. Can you guys hear the fridge? Yeah, right before I started, when I climbed into here, like literally at 6:57, my foot ripped out this camera, and it was like frozen, and I like thought I broke it, so I told myself I will not leave this spot until the stream is over. Okay. So, Own Big Pug might be hearing their own fridge, so you can't tell. That's fair. Okay. Our fridge is loud. Alright, so this is just a casual old drip. Don't feel like you have to paint that in there. I like drips, some people don't. I'm a messy painter, so we'll just go along with that. Now we've got our good old circle of our cutie little Wazowski. And again, if we look back at our reference photo, we can see that we can make his bottom a little bit thicker. Okay, see how I made this line a little bit thicker? And then I'm going to come up here and make the bubble come right out the top. Because he has a nice big, he doesn't have a perfect circle head, right? So see how I followed along the edge of the circle we already have. And then I come up like he has a little hat. And then we're going to bring that on down to match up to the other side. Right? Here's my original circle, and we just drew a little boop on the top of it. I'm just going to try to see if I can play the music from my computer. Okay. It's not playing. Oh my goodness. Can you guys hear that? Faintly? Is it too loud? I don't know how to test these things. I'm just gonna make it quiet. You guys probably can play your own music. I just like can't be. Wow, it's loud. It's so quiet here, so that's interesting that it picks it up that easy. Thank you. Thank you. I just go loco when it's quiet. No, no. One more up. How's that? Just a little. Okay. How is our bubble of a monster going? One more up. How's that? We'll see how she goes. Okay. Here we go for our little Mikey. We can make his little horns if you want. I remember how he's a little bit more to the side. So it's not like it's perfectly centered. If we did them on both sides, it would be on both sides. I'm just trying to show that it's not centered, right? We're going to bring his left one up a little bit more. I'm okay with faint. There's a little background skit. It's just my like laptop playing over there, so we'll see how. I'll figure out a better way later. It was my last afterthought. I was like, oh no, I forgot about music again. Okay. Now let's get that big old eyeball mapped out. So the thing that's nice is that we're going to be using this top point of our circle to start the eyeball. So we made that little hat, but where the original circle that we drew is where we're going to draw that big old eyeball. And again, like it's not going to be centered, right? Centered would be right here in the middle, but it's up a little bit more, okay? So we're going to pop his eyeball. Let's see. Right here. And again, see, remember it's nice and rough. It doesn't matter if you have to do a couple more lines to make it the size that you want. Nothing's permanent. It's just acrylic paint. We've got a big old eyeball started. And see, it's like almost half, or more, maybe more than half of his body. I've taught Mike Wazowski before. I know that on my channel there is a YouTube of drawing Mike Wazowski. And at the Pin Debate class that I teach on Tuesdays, we try to do Mike Wazowski as well. And I think one very common occurrence is people usually make his eyeball too small. Okay? So try to make it bigger than you think you have to. It's easy to bring it more in. We just have to paint green around the sides to make it smaller. So make it bigger than you think, right? And then let's just roughly map out where that little old smile is going to be. So again, if it was straight, it would be like this, but we're on a little bit of an angle. Same as how we did this angle with his arms, right? Where we were matching up where his arms go. Same with the line of his little smile. Okay? So let's just make a line like this. Beep. I know it's like, oh, he's smiling, so why is it going down? Don't worry, we'll figure it out. But see how it's not straight across. It's on a bit of an angle. That's distracting. Okay. And then we're going to go above. Like, see where the line is right here? We're going to go above with the line. It's going to be covered up, but it's just going to help us see where this mouth is going to go. And we're going to go down almost till we touch the bottom. See how there's like a finger's worth, maybe, of space between the outside of the mouth and the outside of the circle. How's that? Do you see him there? Like, we've got him. We've got a Mike Wazowski already. I haven't had a Red Bull in so long. I'm wilding out. Okay. How is that for a smile? Oops, I made it a little high. That's okay. But that's about all we need to do before we start coloring him in. Because we have all of the basic shapes laid out. So people in pencil, you're going to have to get some paint out. Everybody else, you've already got the paint out. And the color that we're using right now is the same color that we will start filling him in with. But instead of using this watery consistency, we're going to be using nice thick paint with not much water. I'm just going on here quick to remind myself what colors I told you all to bring. Ooh. Oh no. I know I said I didn't want to have to leave this spot, but I didn't bring yellow over here. Okay. I'm crawling under this corner. I'll be right back. Oh my gosh, don't pull it off. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's dangerous. Whew. It's Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. Literally. It was. Whew. Okay. We have the green that we're already using on our palettes. Let's get out some yellow. And we're going to get out a little bit of white. Ugh. Nothing's changed, you guys. It's the same. Classic Tay is right. I'll always forget something. And in all that, I still moved the camera. My streaming corner is now like pretty tight. I want it to be like a nice little dome so it was good for sound and everything, but then I've shoved myself into this little crevasse. Okay, so on our palette we see we've got green, we've got yellow, we've got white. And we're gonna get a bigger paintbrush. Again, it doesn't matter what like shape it is. Like, it can be squared off, it can be rounded off. It can be pointed like this, but bigger. Like, I would suggest you go bigger than what we were just doing for your outline. But we're getting ready to slob some paint around, you guys. Of course, it wouldn't be a paint night if we didn't start slobbing, okay? And, no, I think that's good for now. Okay, we're going to be working a little bit of wet on wet All right, so as we're slobbing the paint, once we get around to a spot that we need a lighter area, we're going to be going right into the other paint and trying to mix it on our canvas. Live, in the moment, okay? How do we feel about that? Let's dip our brushes so they are wet, but we're not going to be pulling all the paint through. We are going to be grabbing that green that we already started with, and we're going to look at, oops, where's my hand? We're going to look at this guy and see where the darker spots are right off the bat, right? You can tell like around his cheeks, this back arm. He has an eyelid up there. Those are the darker areas, so that's where we're going to be starting to put this dark green, okay? I'm going to be painting it on, pretty conscious of my brush strokes. Like, so see how I am going with the shape? I'm going along with the shape of the circle that's already, oops, I'm getting a phone call. With the shape that we've already drawn on there, right? Like, you can, if you want, go every direction, but sometimes this helps give that smooth texture that Mike is, that I feel like he's like slimy but not. He like looks slimy, but we know he's not slimy. See how the circle kind of gets a little bit thicker on this side? Let's fill in that green. I made him a little bit more strong. So what green did you use to start with the outline? I know that I probably confused you by saying dark green, meaning that this lime green is gonna be, yeah. Like, when I said dark green, I just meant the darker hues on him. Like, we're going to be adding white and yellow to make the green that you're using lighter as well. Does that make sense? So whatever color that you started with on your outline, that's the green that we're using, and we will be lightening it up in those spots. I realize I said the dark green, so you guys are probably like, hello. What dark green, Taylor? Gotcha. Good. All right, so we're going in all those darker spots. And again, paint isn't permanent. So like maybe we want to make his mouth bigger later. That's fine. We can do that. But I'm still painting in that direction. Let me know if you need me to zoom in on my camera or anything. Things are a little differente. How do you feel about the new layout? Kind of cool. Give a shout out to Matt. I don't know if he's still here. Feels cozy. Love that. Matt's here, yes. You're the best. I'm not professional like this, you guys. I have very talented friends. Matt being the mastermind. Justin behind other things over here as well. I'm just the painter, okay? Okay, so see how we've got that green laid out in all the darker spots? Oh, we can go a little bit half on there. Remember, I'm not using too much water in my paint right now. We want it to be nice and opaque. And when you add water to acrylic paint, it makes it more translucent, right? So less water. You love the vertical skinny layout of the face cam? Matt, you listening? Same. Because realistically, you guys don't need to see much of me. This is what you need to see more of. We also can go to, where is my, we can go to the zoom mode. Ooh. Right, what about, wait, Instagram mode? Oh my goodness. Thumbnail mode? You guys. It's professional business in here. Alrighty. Your face is beautiful. It gives us inspiration. Big pot just floating my boat over here. You sweet little angel. Oh wait, oh my gosh, I've forgotten of something else. Oh my goodness. What have I done? Forgetting all this fun stuff. Okay. We're back to Mike Wazowski. Sorry, painters. Distractions are real as always. Now let's go to this cutie little guy here. So the reason I stopped before I started putting the paint on here is because this is where the good old wet on wet really comes into life. Okay, so we're going to start by putting a little bit of this green that you've been using already this whole time We're gonna make that outline of Mike. We're gonna dip our brush in some water. And we're gonna dip it into that yellow. Okay? So see how I have green and yellow on my, green and yellow on my brush. This might be odd for some people, but we're going for it, okay? So we're gonna be blending it into him a little bit. Pulling it over top where his mouth is. And this, your rag or paper towel will be your friend. You're gonna wipe it off, whatever's on there. Dip back into your water and go back onto the page. It's a canvas. To start blending that yellow into the green that's on there. And don't worry if it's not blending perfectly. We're going to add some white into there as well. But we're just adding some extra color into this painting, so we're not doing just a flat green. Perfect. Bring some of that yellow in there. And same thing with yellow on your brush. You can grab a little bit of white. Tell me if I'm going too fast. But the paint's wet, so we got to keep it going. Right? And see how I'm adding a little more of a lighter value of that yellow into these shapes. And we're always looking at a reference photo to see where this lighter yellow and green should go. And of course, the most obvious part is right above his lip. And then a little bit under his eyeball. And right above that circle that we drew. I probably used a little bit of an uglier yellow. We're going to mix some green in there. But if colors start mudding together, always make sure to wipe off that brush. And you can go back with just water on your brush, and you can sometimes blend out some of those edges that are looking a little rougher. I also haven't worn my glasses in forever. I put them on today, and I could not. They don't work like they used to. I may have to go back. I couldn't see close to me, and then farther was even worse. It was a disaster. No, it's not better. So I'm my eyes aren't terrible. I'm just cross-eyed, so my depth perception's very off. My glasses keep my eyes straight. But my eyesight's not perfect. Once I get glasses again, I'm always like, oh yeah, that's what I'm supposed to see like. But without glasses, it's livable. It's not as noticeable as it could be for some people. I'm lucky in that sense. Okay. I wish my eyesight got magically better. Do you have your eyesight gets worse with glasses? Having glasses and then always having to change them? I do, I have to get new ones too. Yeah, Dan got laser eye surgery. And that's how I realized that my eyes weren't the greatest, because I was like, oh wow, I can't see as well. He could read signs way better, or menus from far away way better than I could. I'm like, oh, my eyes aren't as good as I thought. It's expensive and scary. It's scary too. Okay. So we've got our yellow parts of our little Mikey Wazowski coming together. And remember, keep looking at the reference photo, and we can see where some of those lighter spots are. And I have that yellow and white on my brush still. You can add a little touch of green if you want, but we will be adding green over top of these areas. But I'm adding, where the lighter spots are, some good old yellow. He looks like he's got a nice sun glow at the moment. And remember, my paintbrush, I always paint very roughly like these. I'm going to bring the painting a little bit closer to you for a second. Because I always tell people to make sure that you step back from your painting and look at it from far away. Because it's easy to get so caught so close and you're like, oh my god, this brushstroke sucks, this whole painting sucks. But then when you look at it from way farther away, you're like, oh wow, it's actually way better than I thought. But like, see these brushstrokes? When you look at it close up, you can see that it's not as smooth as it may look like from far away. Alright? So take a step back from your painting, it'll help you for sure. People who have done this before know I always talked about putting your paintings in a timeout. And I still do that often. I still often put paintings in timeouts. It basically just means have them face the wall or put them somewhere else so you don't look at them until you come back with some fresh eyes. Okay, before we start getting into more details in here, I am going to we're going to use some yellow with some white. And we are going to see, like, I don't know if you'll be able to see it well. Ooh, the light makes it tough. A pretty light yellow. And you're going to fill in his little curved horns at the top here. And remember, every painter's different. You might want to cover up your outline or the base or whatever. If you want to cover up the outline that we made originally with the painting, that's fine, but like I like what it looks like when you can see pieces like stick through, like the green for my outline beneath, you can still see it, and I think that's cool. It gives some cool like texture and uniqueness to the paintings. And look, oh, Nico, I got to say these paint nights have made me a faster and more carefree painter. I love to hear it. Just make you paint like me, you guys. Because it's like, who cares? Who cares if you can see a little something that like no one else is probably going to see it anyway? It's all about like, are you enjoying doing it? Awesome. Keep doing it then. Who cares what it looks like to other people? Or who cares what it looks like to you at the end too? It's like, hey, you're just going to spend an hour or two doing something different than you have done in a long time. And I think that's important. Okay. And it's going to feel weird, but it's going to be easier than painting individual little yellow teeth. So you're just going to pull with that white yellow, the same yellow that you filled those two little horns with. Let me go close for a second here. You're literally just going to pull a yellow line right across where his teeth are going to be. Okay? You're not going to go like triangle, 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 triangle. You're going straight line across. Beep. Okay? Same with the bottom. Let's just go right across. It's going to look hilarious at the moment, but once we get in there with black later, we'll define those teeth. I know you can't really see it from far away, I guess. One more time, zoom in there. See, it's just two little yellow boop boops. Okay, Nico with the free advertising here. I love and appreciate it. He also said, they also make great gifts. His 12-year-old cousin took the flamingo in the galaxy. Hey, we've got 70. No, wait, Nico, you know the real number. How many paint nights are there on YouTube? This is coming from someone who's done them all or almost them all. Okay, we've got some yellow teeths in there. How's our little creatures looking? We've got our yellow highlight. 78. Oh my goodness. I could almost say we got 80 on there now. I feel like I've been saying there's like 70 for a long time. Oh, hey, that's cool. That's cool. There's something for everybody, for sure. Painted for the people, just like Dan was saying earlier. My AD so bad I forgot to acknowledge that comment until right now. It popped right back. Sorry, Daniel. Okay, we've got our little yellow green creature going, right? Oh, Nico, good call. The 78 includes the 5 drawing ones. But you can also paint the drawing ones if you want. Some painters don't care about drawing. I have noticed, which is totally fine as well. I just realized that's totally what I am. I started as a drawer first, so that's why it's easier for me to teach. Well, I don't even teach, just I paint with a drawing base, always, a drawing foundation. Okay, doke. We have our guy started here, and to continue, we are gonna white out his eyeball, just in case you're like me and it took you a couple tries to make that green circle where his eye is right. We're gonna go in with just white paint, okay? We're gonna clean our brush real good like. Oops. Because we don't want any yellow in there. We want nice pure white. So I'm scrubbing that brush to make sure it's nice and clean. And it is important to have, as contradictory as it is, you want a touch of water on your brush, just so it's a little wet. You can dab a little, a little bit of wet on your brush. And you're going to go right into your white, your pure white. And see how I always, make sure I fill every bristle on my paintbrush here. I just kind of mix that pure white in there. And you're going to go into this eyeball. And you're just going to white out any of those base lines. You can also take this opportunity to make the eyeball bigger if you want, right? Like, you can go out into the green you've already painted. Make sure it's dry first. Right, but we're going to just white out where that eyeball is about to go. I'm painting it pretty thickly on there. I like the texture. I like being able to see the brush strokes. And I'm being conscious again of them. So I'm just only doing strokes in the shape of the circle. Right when I was over here, I was conscious of them. Same in his eyeball. I know right now it just looks like a plain white circle. But to me, I'll see if I can bring it closer if you'll see. To me, there's some texture in there. And it adds a little bit to the painting. Can you see how there's some texture in there? Kind of. Oh, a little bit. And again, it's like, oh, if you feel like you ruin the circle, we can put some green back in there. Whatever. White's fine. You can also add, while you have the white on your brush, just like a couple little messy blobs of white on your pointed triangle horns. That's the word I'm looking for. Horns. Okay. So we've got the eye laid out. We've got most of his body done. While we wait for the eye to dry, we're going to just add some more dark green, some more green in the areas to make some fingers and stuff, okay? If we go here, one thing I keep forgetting on this side... We need a picture of little Mike himself. Give me 1 second to add him here. Where are you, Mike Wazowski? There he is. Oh, let's just put him... Okay, we'll just put it right here because first we're going to do that little hand of his. Okay? So he's going to go right here and we're going to draw his hand roughly. Again, I always teach it the simple, easy way because hands are hard. Oh, am I frozen? We're good. Hands are hard, and we don't gotta overcomplicate this little spot here, okay? if we draw a couple little dark rectangles, people will be like, oh yeah, that's a hand, and nobody will even think about it without having to get too into it. All right? So I'm just going to get a smaller brush. Again, this is the same brush, pointed brush that I used to do all the outline. And I'm going to go right into my green, the green that we were using originally, but no white in it, no yellow. We want just straight out of that tube green. Noses are harder than hands. Oh, and then mouths can be hard. Like, human parts are difficult. It's a weird way to say it, but that's the best way to say it. Okay, so if we're looking at the two... Ooh, maybe I'll do it. Let me just raise him up. Oh, no. Let's just put them side by side. I don't know why it's so shaky. Okay, there we go. So, if we imagine this square that we already have to become his hand, all we really gotta do is make him have little fingers, right? So, like, there's one dark line. See, right? If I'm looking at this thing right there, we just drew that one little dark line. We're gonna go a little bit above that. And a little bit longer of another line. Would you look at that? Okay. Why do I feel like these are not royalty-free songs and this playlist is lying to me and I'm gonna get in trouble by YouTube? We'll see. It's a risk we're just gonna have to take. Okay. And then again, let's... Oh, sorry, just smacking my microphone with my brush. And again, we're just going to make one more longer finger again. Right? I know it looks a little crazy, but... that's basically what his hand is, right? And his thumb is just going to be a little green ball right there for now. We'll add some more lighter colors onto it, but for now, we're going to leave it looking crazy like this. Because realistically, if you don't look hard, it looks almost exactly like the mic right beside us, doesn't it? We're going to add some more lighter, like I said. But that is a little Mike Wazowski hand, if I've ever seen one. You can color in a little bit more there. Oh, thank you, Justo. Alright, maybe make his elbow a little more pointy up here as well. How is that? Right? And while we're in this position, it's a weird way to say it too. Let's just keep seeing other little details and we'll start filling them in, right? So if we bring our guy up so we can see his foot, we can start by, again, adding one more layer of this green to make it a little bit darker, right? If we're looking right here. Boop. It's a shadow under his little bulbous body. And we can continue with another layer of our darker green. And fill in where it's dark there, right? I know it's like so, like for me, it's like looking at a reference photo just makes so much sense and it's a natural thing. But I'm realizing as I'm teaching different people that sometimes it's not as easy to see those similarities. So if not, let me know. Stop being like, Taylor, stop saying it's easy. Just like, look, this is dark. Obviously draw it. Just the best teacher ever. Right? But we can see, we can give himself a little nubbin of a, that's not a shin, that's a heel. And we can make it go out a little bit longer, right? He kind of has a toe that we didn't acknowledge in our original bean. Right? See how we made another little toe? But Mike's coming together. Right. And as we're going around with these weirder details, let's go to this foot. Oh, we're going to have to switch this up. Okay, how about we go with him there. And him over my face. How do we feel about that? So, Vietsti, you're not wrong. On my YouTube, I do have a video of doing Sully and Mike Wazowski drawing him. But you're right, Boo. I should do Boo. I was just saying earlier that I love me some little cutie Boo. All right. You are indeed the Bobbiana Ross of coffee. RCV. My man. I know, I've been gone for a while, you guys. Feels good to be back. I was nervous and shaky at the start, and we're good now. It's normal. Back to normal. Matt says give him some kicks. Thanks for the props, you guys. Shoes are hard too. If we're talking about hands and feet and noses, shoes can be a hell of a time as well. Okay, so we're doing his little feet again here. So let's make one more toe at the bottom. And don't forget to make a bump out for his heel. Okay, actually, you're not wrong. Flip-flops would probably be easy. We can give him some flip-flops after. I love that. Just some thongs. Alright, see how again we made a little extra bumpy for his little extra toe. So his feet went from beans to having a little bit more shape to them. We made sure that he got a heel, so we bumped it out the back a little bit. And now again, let's bring it down to this hand. Are we fine with having Mike big like this? How do we feel about that? I meant to just have him small on the side, but this just feels nice to be able to have it side by side like this. Okay. We're still just using dark green, right? Whoop. And we are trying to do them little hands. And again, remember, we just made a good old rectangle to try to start simple of how to draw a hand. And again, we're not going to go too into detail because he's just a cartoon character and it doesn't matter, right? So we... my ADD just clicked and I had to fill that in. Okay, so we've made him a little darker at the bottom there. We made his elbow. We see that... Dan, kind of. So I put him there. Dan's like, is that thumbnail supposed to be that big? Well, like, see how we're drawing his hand right here, and this is the hand that we're looking at for reference? I thought maybe it would be easier to have the reference right beside it, maybe? I asked if it was a nuisance, and nobody said yes, so if you guys think it's a nuisance, let me know. Okay, so, whatever, his little crease of his arms, darker green there, cool. So now we've got this square, and if we're looking at right here in this hand, we can start by just darkening up this back side and bring it up in a curve. See how the line came up a little bit? And look, that's his little pinky. Done already. And then we're going to just go right in the middle of the rectangle and pull one bean right out there. Look at that. It's his middle finger. And then one more bean out of that rectangle. See how our original rectangle's in there and we just made those fingers pop out a little bit? You can put a little curve at the bottom if you want. But again, there's like no detail in there. We just did 3 little lines and it already kind of looks exactly like the hand right here, right? Boop, boop. And now we just gotta make room for that good old little thumb. So if we start, if we again look at the reference photo we're looking at, we're starting at that back finger. And we're just gonna curve up. Maybe even down a little bit. Curve up and down. Again, while you're drawing, keep looking at this hand over here. As I'm drawing, I'm almost looking at my reference photo more than I'm looking at my picture to make sure I'm following those shapes. So we've got a thumb sticking out the side. How do we feel about that weirdo hand? You can even make a line down the middle like those creases that people have in there. We basically got a hand, hey? Right? Huh? How do we feel about that? Weep. From a rectangle to make it the most simplest of shape. And then added a couple other little rectangles in there to bring some more detail. And we've got, look from far away, look at that. Oh, my mouse, you can't see myself. Mouse. Look at how all those almost look like real hands. But you know, close up, they're just little messy squares, right? Okay, dokie. Let's see. Now that our eyeball should be dry, right? We drew that big old circle. Make sure it is dry. You don't want to paint on top of the white. We're going to go back into our green. I'm still using the same brush. If you want to use a bigger one, go for it. Some people paint way smaller. Like, I don't know what size Nico's painting. Usually you paint littler. So if the brush size that I'm using doesn't make sense for you, don't feel like you have to copy me, okay? So we're going to start by painting his eyelid onto his eyeball. All right, and one tip that I always give is to make that 3D look, to make stuff look like it has depth and dimension in there. So remember, we're on an angle, right? So if we're looking at this circle with an angle, the bottom half, if we draw anything on the bottom half, we're going to follow that bottom half curve. It's going to be angled down like that. But if we draw anything on the top half, it's going to be following that top curve. Does that make sense? So we're about to draw his top eyelid. So we're going to go like this. But we're following the curve of the top, right? And then bringing it on down to the side. Alright, so see how we copied the top. We didn't do a bottom curve, we did a top curve to show that the eyelid is curving around that eyeball of his. Remember, water might help to bring that paint around a little bit, but we want it to go on pretty opaquely. I don't know if that's a word either, but we're going with it. Right? How is that? Yeah, see, Nico's working on a 5x7-inch canvas. That's like this big. So he's not going to use a paintbrush this big to do that eyeball. Right? Remember that we're on this angle, so the line isn't perfectly aligned like this. If it was even, if it was level, is the word I'm thinking of. It's on a little bit of an angle. And he also has a little bit of a bottom eyelid. Is it also an eyelid when it's on the bottom? But remember, following that rule, we're on the bottom half of the eye, so it's not going to be that angle. It's going to follow the same as the bottom angle. So start about here, and you're going to go whoop, to give him a little bit of a bottom eyelid. These two can probably match up, I think they do, but... Right? We've got that eyelid, we've got the lower lid, we've got all these greens and lighter yellows building up. Let's see, where else are we at now? We are going to make that little pupil of that cutie little eyeball. So we're going to bring out some blue onto our palettes. I'm using light blue. I'm using white apparently. I'm using light blue permanent. You can see it's a little bit of a lighter blue. If you have dark blue, doesn't matter. If you want it to be lighter, just add a little white. Oops. We'll just leave that down there. Add a little white to it to brighten her up a little bit. I'm going to use another medium-sized brush. I got a little more of a squared one. Doesn't really matter. You can use the same brush we've been using as outline and everything else as well. Get your brush wet a little bit. Mix her around and all your bristles into that blue. And we're just going to draw a circle right here. For some of you, it might be a little stressful. It feels a little permanent. Remember, you can always put white over top the blue If you make it too big, you can draw it with a pencil if that makes you feel better, but it's not like you can erase the pencil. Don't forget about that. But we are going to draw his blue old eyeball. And again, it's not going to be in the middle. It's not on the left. It's far right on this side, okay? And again, you can take it slow. You don't have to go all... don't have to paint really quick. It might help to take it a little bit slower. I'm going to color the whole thing in. You don't have to worry about his little pupil yet. Whoop. How's that? You've got... Whatever. It's not... Mine's not very round, but we're keeping it that way. And while it's wet, we're going to put our brush right into the white. You might want to mix it on your palette a little bit, but you're going to bring white right into that blue on the bottom right-hand side, and you're going to just dab a little bit of that pure white into the bottom half of that blue. All right. Again, it can be messy. That's okay. Very rough, right? When you bring it close, all these strokes are very rough and messy. But that's how we like it here, okay? We keep it messy. I'm going to put a little more, maybe just a thick glob of white paint right there. Okay. It's so funny. It's like, oh, at the very start, I'm like, wow, we're going so fast through it. And then I was like, oh, no, we have to speed up. And now I'm like in a middle spot where I think it's okay. The 2 hours may be perfect. So we've got an eyeball. We've got some hands going. Are we ready to fill that little mouth up? We're going to have to get black on our canvas. I only have black and white in these like huge jugs, and it struggles. I struggle to open them every time. Remember that black is a very powerful pigment. It will take over any paint that you mix it with. You really don't need much black at all on your palette. So, we're going to take a little old skinny brush. For some of you, it might feel comfortable to go skinny, 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 like this little guy. Maybe. I'm going to still use this one. Oops. I'll pretend it's pointed like so. Okay? Ooh. And we're going to work on his little mouth on there, okay? His little claw teeth. I'm just going to get a reference photo up close on here so that I see him good. Because I don't want to paint you astray. In my ladies paint class that I'm teaching in person, because right now I'm painting straight on the canvas, right? Like the 2 camera helps with that because the canvas is right in front of me. But when I teach it live, I like paint it like from the side, so like I'm looking at it not straight on. And the painting always turns out to be this like skewed, wonky mess for everybody else watching. Forgot how nice this is to just like paint right in front of me. Okay, we're using black and we're using a small brush. Remember, if you feel more comfortable with a tiny little brush, go for it, like tiny like this. But I'm going to use this one, and we're going to go into his mouth and paint away those teeth. And I can't do that without giving you guys a pressure lesson, but I'm actually very unprepared for that. Just to help you out if doing little outlines or doing small details stresses you out. It's all about pressure, okay? I'm going to do it on my hand. So if you see, if I'm touching my hand with just the tip of the paintbrush, see how it makes a nice little thin line, right? I'm using the palm of my hand on my hand, when you're painting on the canvas, to hold most of the pressure, and just using a very dainty, just the tip of the brush, you get a skinny line. But if you press down, like see from the side, every single bristle is pressed down, and you pull that across your hand. See how thick of a line that is, right? And all those lines were made with the same brush, so it's all about pressure. So it doesn't matter if you have this size or this size of a brush, you can make the same thin line depending on how hard you hold that brush, okay? Keep that in mind. So while we're doing these little teethies of his, we're going to start by just outlining his mouth that we've already done, right? We have a little bit of water on our brush so that it helps pull the paint across the canvas. Just our brush is wet and we mix it around a little bit. We're not worrying about chocolate milk consistency, but we are adding a little bit of wet on the brush to be able to pull that across nicely. And like, look at how crooked my line is. That's fine. We're just going to cover some of that up. Okay. And then we are going to bring that line right across to you. Oops. Very crooked, very crooked. And see how I ended up making his mouth a little bit bigger than I anticipated? Not on purpose, it just happened that way, and that's okay. And I also made this line under his mouth a little thick too, but we're just going to deal with that. Okay? So now that we got those lined up, remember we have these two yellow shapes here, right, of his big old teeth. We are going to start by just drawing out each little tooth that we see on the reference photo. See how I'm just cutting away into that rectangle that we made. Maybe I should zoom in a little bit. Oh, let's just move him away now. Oops. Oops. How's that? Again, looks a little crazy at the start, but we are just gonna go boop, 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 boop. Right, we fill in where those teeth will go. And then we can paint away some of this black area, right? And again, this doesn't mean that these are the teeth that are set in stone. It's just an easier way than painting out every individual little tooth. Leave room for that tongue if you want. And color in the rest in there. How is that so far? This line a little did up here, my bad, but he has, that's where his gums are. How is that? For a crazy mouth for now. Oh, Bubsy! Hello, hello, how are you? Good to see you. Long time no see, everybody. Okay, we've got his little mouth in there started. And we've got the black on our brush, so we might as well just paint that little black pupil inside of his eyeball. If your paint's wet, you can wait a little bit. Sorry you didn't paint tonight. Oh my gosh, no need to apologize. No need to apologize. Your presence is more than enough. Let's fill in that little black spot. Doop. And if you're feeling bold enough, you can outline his eyeball as well. Some people might want to do that with a Sharpie. some people might hate outline with all their life and want nothing to do with it. Then don't do it. Okay. Paint pen also. Nikki, you are very right. If you have paint pens at home, that's the best bet. That's what I would be doing on my own as well. Oh gosh, what am I... I don't know why I just went in there with such a thick blob of paint, but we're just gonna leave it. It has been a while, Bubsy. I know. I'm rusty. I've missed y'all. Okay. Well, we still have black on our brush. Again, use your paint markers, use your Sharpie, use your skinny brush, use no brush if you don't want to outline at all. But we do gotta put a little nice outline over top, underneath his eyelid. And underneath as well. Whoop. Perfect. We've got the outlines going strong. Bubsy, thanks for the prop. Y'all just welcoming me back so warmly. You can also outline his little horns and see if you want to add some texture. Look at that. Ooh. Oh, you guys can't even see it. Look at me painting off screen like a jerk. I just roughly outlined his little horns, right, with that nice curve. And then I just lightly pulled a couple lines down from the top messily to add a little bit of texture in there. Kind of nice. Oops. Remember, we can always go back in with some white to tweak some of these crazy thick outlines I'm just throwing around here. Told you guys I'm rusty. Okay. I hope your little Wazowskis are going well out there. Anyone who's going to watch this on YouTube for the first time are going to be like, ooh, this teacher is wild. Drinking Red Bulls and running amok. I think he's coming along, though. Let's go back to the main here. We've got his little teeth. We've got most of that set up. It's going to feel weird that we're outlining some stuff right now, but we're just going to do a messy, rough outline and paint a little over top of it so that we don't have to rely on it as being a smooth, important line. So we're just going to do some quick ones, right? So I'm going to go and bring a line to show that his arm's going over top. And down. Same with on his body over here. We're just going to bring the line on down. Oops. Whoop. We're all rusty. That's true. That is true. It's wild out there. And you can go above his mouth here and outline a little bit of that lip. Oh my goodness. We can keep that line going up if you want to. And just some quick little leg lines. Because we're going back in with some green, so don't worry. What time is it? 8:24. Mike is cute. Thank you. Let's just give him some toes. Right? 2 little bumps. goosebumps. Do, 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 do. I wish that we could listen to like Mike Wazowski Monsters Inc. music without getting in trouble. Without getting in trouble from Pixar and Disney themselves. They don't like me recently. How's the new studio? It is good. It's different. It's been a learning curve for sure, but it's great. Getting some work-life balance is important. Having such a big, nice space is lovely. I can't complain about that. But yes, it's very different than working from home. Very different. Just something I gotta get used to. Honing in my creativity to paint at certain times instead of just painting when it feels right, because that's how I've been doing it for years, just painting how it feels right. I mean, painting when it feels right. And now, if I feel like painting, I have to drive 20 minutes to get there, and I don't drive. So I need to figure out how to want to paint when I paint. Want to paint when I can paint. And you still have new plans for me. Bubsy, Bubsy. Plants are gifts. The way to my heart. You guys, I feel like I haven't taught you how to paint. I've just been painting away. We're just doing outlines. And I'm just doing them kind of thick and messily because whatever. I'm going to do a big blobby paint background later. I made him a little thick armed too, and we're just going to fix that. Justin calls them plantas. I like that. A new plantas. Oops. We've got our little Wazowska. Who's using paint markers other than Nikki to do some outlines? Again, I always try to say these paint nights you can do almost anything with minimal supplies. Like even if you just had a pencil, you could do something close to it. You could at least draw him out at the start. If you have pencil crayons, you could do it. Watercolor, you can do it. The bare minimum. But if you want extra supplies like paint markers and pre-mixed colors and all that jazz, go for it. But again, I'm just going to bring this painting closer so you can see how simplified these lines are to just make the point come across, that there's outline, that a shape goes there. So that we don't have to get too focused on the dirty details. We just have a cutie Mike Wazowski. Already at this point, whoever would look at this and be like, oh, duh, that's Mike Wazowski. Right? And if you want to add a messy little shadowed background, just like a shadow of where he's standing, bring back that chocolate milky consistency so you scoop water from your paint dish right by your black paint. And let's just slob it on underneath them. You can go right into just water, not in your chocolate milky consistency. Like, see how I take my brush and I'm going right into my water dish and then bringing it onto the canvas where I already put that dark paint. But remember how I always say water's your friend, and water helps a lot when it comes to acrylic paint So the more water that goes in, the more translucent. I'll keep saying that over and over again. So this is going to dry very lightly and kind of like tie-dye almost in a sense, right? With different values in it. And it adds just a nice little decorative background. The rest of it I'm going to paint blue, but just if you want to kind of ground him and give him a shadow so it looks like he is in the space, which is your composition on your canvas. Let me, oops. See really close up, just messily through some black chocolate milky consistency on there to add kind of a fun little basement. Basement? I just said basement. That's not a basement, it's a background. Okay. Before we start fixing those little teeths of his, we're going to go in with the green in that one spot we left his tongue. I'm just going to fill it in there quick. He just has a green tongue in there. Okay, now we're going to go close. Let me zoom in here. Because we're going to do some of his little crazy teeth. I made this arm so short. That's okay. Okay, so we're going back to his little teeth. Now I do suggest you take out a small brush. We're going to make a little mixture of white and yellow. It's okay if it's not the exact same mixture that we had before to make these in here. It's actually probably better if it's a little bit lighter, so more white than yellow. And we're just going to flesh out some of those shapes a little bit more. Those teeths a little bit more. Doesn't matter where you want to start. Let's go on this side. So see how I'm just kind of adding to the original shape that we already have on there, but letting some of that other yellow poke through. Oh, maybe you won't be able to see it. It might be too faint. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. But see how his teeth are just becoming a little bit more of fully developed shapes. You can also paint away if you made that upper lip line a little thick. You can paint into that too. But we're building up those teeth. Can you guys see the difference, or does it just look like the same white blob? His teeth are coming together a little bit better. But remember, paint away those mistakes if you want. And by in this case, I painted over some of that black. It's a little hard to see. Okay. Let me bring it closer. I'll just finish this one tooth on the side here. It's basically redrawing his teeth, but you could see some of the yellow popping through. Do you see how? Ooh, right here. You can see the yellow underneath popping through a little bit. If I pull it further away, the teeth are kind of getting developed a little bit more. Does that help? Oh my gosh, I just dropped, yeah, more paint on my jeans. Same on the bottom, you can just beef up those triangles a little bit. Let me zoom in for you closer in a sec here. Pointed. From far away, do we see the difference at least? Me panicking, just not teaching it right. There's a toothy. the better way. Remember when I just... I don't know how to show it closer. Can we zoom in, you little guy? It gets a little blurrier the more I zoom in, hey? It's basically just going back into those layers and adding just a touch of this other color so that you add a little depth, keeping the dark yellow beneath it. But we're still developing those shapes more. So now that I went through with that lighter yellow and white, we can keep doing that same thing. You can go back with black and define those teeth more. See how they're coming together? Over here. Same on this side. They're just like rounded. That's the problem with his teeth, why they're so hard. They're like rounded little sharp teeth. They're not like little chiclets, but they're not little triangle fangs. They're like a rounded shape. Chicken lady. Hello. How are you? I'm back. It's been a while. Life's crazy. We can color that black too. And Tender Bear, look at you all. Hi. You guys, good to see you. It's been a long time. We're painting Mike Wazowski. I'm trying to remember how to teach painting again. Right in here too, we can shape those teeth a little bit more. How are you guys doing? What is up? How's life? Oh my goodness. I'm just being a terrible orthodontist to our Mike Wazowski. How's that looking? What time is it? 8:37. Let's go. You can't paint tonight because you had some minor surgery on your arm today. Oh my gosh, you relax that arm. Do not worry. You know where to find it whenever you're ready to paint again. That sounds like some healings will be involved. Some time to rest and relax. What type of surgery? If you don't mind me asking, of course. I'm just getting picky over here. You can even round some teeth off if you want, like to add where they go. Not where they go, the crease in between them, but you don't want to add all. Lipoma removals. Ouchie mama, that doesn't sound fun. I hope you recover quickly. Whoop, whoop. So we've got some teeth built in. Some crazy teeth. How are they looking? Again, I'm always just trying to like see if, or not see in the future. And imagine what trouble some people are having, or if things look weird or off on theirs, how to fix them. And even just looking at mine right now, again, me not having my glasses on, my painting's a little warped, but he's kind of a little potato, Justin. Did you just give me a potato? It's been a while since I've seen one of those. You little sweet cupcake. Oh, thank you. I don't deserve it. Just looking at my picture here, I'm seeing that his eye is a little out of shape. So see how I'm just going to add a little bit more white there just to make myself feel better that his eye is a good shape. You can do that too, remember? If something's the wrong size, just like white it out. Literally, use white to white it out. Bye. And while you have that pure white on your brush, you can, again, if you want, add a touch of pure white onto some little teethies to add even more depth and difference. To add a little more dimension to your Wazowski teeth. Again, looking at them close, they're crazy. Like, look at how many colors and messy lines and things are on those teeth. But you can see that there is white, that lighter yellow, and dark yellow on all them still. Right? And while you still got white on your brush or palette, I'm still using this little skinny guy. Sorry, I didn't even show you. I just talked about it. This little skinny guy. Remember how this always makes your painting just look so much better for some reason. You gotta put a white reflecty line that goes a little bit over his pupil and a little bit into the iris. Did I call those things the right things? Whatever I'm trying to say. A little bit onto the colored part of his eye and a little bit onto the dark part of his eye. Because I don't know words. But it always makes him just look like he's just so much more real when you add that little reflecty in there. I don't know why. And I just covered the outline by accident, so I'm just going back on there. How does he feel with that little reflecty in his eye? Oh my goodness, I'm just going astray. Right, how's that looking? How's he looking? Okay, he's pretty cute. So far. Oh, I'm frozen. Oh, I'm back. Look at him go. Okay, so we just need a couple more little detailies here as we go. Just to bring him to completion. So we're gonna start with just our classic green. Again, the original green that we were using. No white, no yellow, just the green right out of the tube or whatever you use to do the original colors. And we are going to make a line across the top of his lip. We are gonna make sure that he is dark around his little cheek. I'll zoom in a little bit better on this one. You guys don't. Oh my gosh, my face. Oh my goodness. Malfunction. Ignore me here. We'll get him better in there. I just wanted to zoom him in a little bit more. Perfect. We're just adding some of these darker spots again while looking at the reference photo, like around his cheek it got a little darker. And the more layers of this green you put, the darker it will get. Above his head, darker. And same on this side of his little mouth. Again, I'm always just looking at the reference photo to see where and why these darker spots should go. Or where or why? Yeah, where or why they should go. I don't know if why is the right word there. And under his eyeball. Alright. Filling all of those spots. Even his tongue, if you want it to be a little bit darker. I feel like his tongue was an afterthought by accident, so. Okay, and then a couple more little highlight spots are really gonna bring him to lifey. We're gonna grab a tiny touch of green, a big touch of yellow, and about the same size touch of white to kind of again build back this light yellowy green color, but we want it to be a little bit more light, so a little bit more white into it. I'm still using the same brush that we started with. And we're gonna add some of these highlighted spots, okay? Oh, I think I'm getting some black in there. Whatever, we're going for it. So the first light highlight line we're doing right above the black line on his eyelid. Right, did you see where I put that? I went right above his eyelid. And remember, we want a lot of white in there because we want it to be a bright highlight. Same with a line right under his eye. In between the pupil and the dark line that we made. Since this should be a little bit lighter than the color we're using before in the lighter spots, right, we can add a couple more of these highlights in these bright spots. Oh my gosh, I'm painting underneath his face. Right, he has a little bit of a lighter color underneath his cheek for a little bit of that highlight to show he's smiling, like a dimple almost. We want a little bit of this white yellow on his lips. But again, don't cover all your work. You want to see some of that dark green that we have underneath there popping through. And I've got a little bit of water on my brush as we're going through this. Not too much. We want it to go on pretty opaquely. But we're adding that little bit of brighter color to just show his shape a little bit more. Something that we didn't do before was this underline that's going to make him look a little bit more round. I'm still using that white, yellow, green, mostly white concoction that we've been using as this highlight around here. And we're going to go just right on the back curve of him. Lightly, I'm just brushing in a little bit of that highlight on his back. Again, so subtle, but when you move it away, it starts to give him that full round sphere shape that we need. I can't believe how short I made his little stumpy arm. It's so funny. Whoopsie. Sorry. If everybody's got little arms on the side. Right. Oh, that's weird. Yours has frog legs? Hey, his legs are frog legs, I think. I think his legs are frog legs. Okay. I'm just looking at him a little bit more. He needs his little feet. His little claws on his toes. Right? They're very simple too. You can probably we could probably still use this white yellowy concoction we're doing actually. Let's just do that. And out of the first nubbin, we're just gonna go meep. It's literally just, your character looks like a fish. A little fishy. Hey, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Look at those. Look how easy it was to draw his little claws there. He has some on his nails up here, but I don't think we really have to worry about it. If you don't want to. How does our Mike Wazowski's look, you guys? How do we feel about him? Does anything at home look weird or feel off? If you gotta go, Tay. So glad you're back on caffeine. Thank you. Thank you. Feels good to be back. Like I said, I was nervous all day for some reason, but it feels good to be back. Have I ever painted with ham-flavored beer? I know who you are. I know who you are. I wish we didn't go back to get some the next day. Honestly though, you guys, we at Christmas time we're in Banff and we had this literally it was like smoked ham flavored beer and it literally tasted, it sounds like it would be disgusting, but it was so good and we all loved it. We all loved it. You think your eye's too big, otherwise you love him? Oh no, and I told you guys to make his eye bigger. Hey, remember, like, we can shrink it a little bit. We can shrink it a little bit. Like, right, like, you can always bring your green over again if you want. Just paint into the eyeball a bit, like, with your green, maybe? He's like, this would be basic done. You don't feel like you have to go any further if you don't feel like it. But if you want, like, to add more detail, again, there's so many different levels of artists that do this. Right? There's people who've done it before, people who haven't ever painted, people who've painted 78 times if you've done all the paint nights. But if you want to stop at this level, that's totally fine. If you want to add more, we can like add some depth to his eyeball, right? Like realistically, his eye shouldn't just be pure white like this. It should have a little bit of depth in there. Hey, Nikki, actually, maybe this will make you not... Maybe this will make it feel not too big. Let's do this. Let's go into your white and add the tiniest touch of black ever. So little amount of black. Like a toothpick's worth of black into your little pile of white. And if it's too dark, whatever, we can paint over it again. But we're going to grab that darker gray. See how it's very subtle. And again, we're going to paint the bottom of his eyeball. And we're being conscious of our brush strokes. Like we're following the outline of the eye we already have. Your paint is always going to dry darker on your canvas than it looks wet on your palette. So keep that in mind. But see how we're adding a little bit of this gray. Again, just like how we made it dark green around his body, like we're going to do that to his little eyeball. And again, maybe you can add a little bit more dark if you want to go wild. I added another touch of dark to add some more depth in there. And again, like I mix all my paints with my brush because I like having the strokes and the little subtle changes of value in the paint. Yeah, that helped make his eye not feel so big, right? It's not this like big gaping hole. All right, we add a little bit of dark on there. So you guys see this helped Nikki not think that her eye felt too big now. We've got a little bit of a depth change, and if you give it, like if you went overboard with the gray, remember, just let it dry and add some white on top. Who cares? Right, I made mine pretty dark, but you know what? I'm going for it. I'm going to bring it closer again so that you can see close up that it's not very perfect and smooth. It's quite messy. Gray, gray, gray. Gray, gray, gray. How is that? And remember that trick I taught you sometimes. Like, you can wipe off your brush completely. And you can buff out that line with just water, right? There's just water on your brush, and you can go and kind of play with that line if it's a little sharp. Mike Wazowski. Matt's got a jet. You sweet angel. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for this. Thanks for everything. Everyone say, Matt, you're the fucking best. Hey, my first swear of the stream. And see now how I tweaked his eye. I'm just like being nitpicky again because I haven't taught you guys how to paint in so long that I feel like I was rusty and wasn't the greatest teacher today. So we're just gonna tweak some things as we go. See how I made his eye a little bit bigger and then I ruined his little bottom eyelid. I'm being very picky and touchy. Justin's gonna call me out on it. And we gotta rebuild that bottom eyelid. Just a little picky and touchy. Happens sometimes. Happens to the best of us. It just happens to the best of us. I'm gonna fix that eyeball. Because I painted over it and I'm just going back with that dark green to make that bottom. See how it's coming back together. Has anyone sent in your pictures? I think only a couple of you have been painting today, but I'd love to see them. Don't forget, good old Instagram, Taytayski, the same as everywhere. If you DM me your little cuties, we'll share with the class. But hey, we can also do a background. I know it's 8. It's, oh my gosh, it's not even, it's almost 9. It's about to be 9. Sorry, I'm going to try to just not breathe when I do that. Yeah, oh my gosh, I haven't even talked about you guys painting live. Look at me forgetting all these new things. Oh my, oh, why did it go away? Sarah, should we give him a ween? Hey, you know what, Sarah? I will never stop you. I will never stop you from painting any weens on any little guys you want. But also what Justin was talking about, if anybody is also painting along live, Caffeine's got hashtags now. If you're using a hashtag, you're already entered in for a oh, I have to stop talking while I paint. For a chance to win a print of your choice, okay? It's new to me too. The caffeine has come leaps and bounds since I've been streaming on here. But now there's some perks. If you want to paint along with me live, use the hashtag Taytayski. Hashtag Taytayski. Let's go. Let me see with this little eyeball. Yeah, at first I was like, wait, do I put it in the title? I don't know. Why can't I draw this line? Holy moly. There we go. There we go. Would anybody else be interested in painting live too? Like, you're streaming yourself. You can stream from your phone now. There was a follower here on a follower. That's not what I meant. A creator here on Caffeine. His name was Fats. And he would stream painting along. He would do it digitally though. I miss him. Guys, what happened to him? Anybody? Anybody know? Hashtag when you stream along. Yes, sorry, Justin was saying, not in the chat. If you stream along and use hashtag Taytayski in your stream, that's what will get you in there. For a chance to win. Other details you guys can do in his eyeball. Thanks, Justin. He's my momager in here saving the day. You can also outline his little claws if you want to. Again, outline is something that I hide behind. I'm self-conscious without it. But if you hate outline, I can't even speak, you guys. I can't even speak! If you don't like outline, don't worry about it. Ignore me. Nico's debating streaming next time. Hey, why not? Why not, you guys? Could be fun. Could be fun. Okay, another little quick detail that you can add extra into his little eyeballs. Like if you want your blue, like you can do little lines through his pupils. I'm going to mix blue and green a touch to have a little bit of a different color in his eye. Yeah, like Justin was saying, you can stream from your phone now. That's a new feature. Now I can give you guys a studio tour easier. Whoop. I'll bring that closer. Check that little eyeball out. We did a little couple lines in it. You can kind of see. Mike Wazowski. How's that? I feel like he's a little wild and out. He looks, my mic looks a little like, he might be a little smoking something crazy. Who knows? He looks a little wild when I take a step back from him. And when it comes to a background, you guys know that I like hate I don't hate backgrounds, but I usually don't teach you them for some reason. But I'm going to do it. We're just going to slobber around some blue. I'm just going to take a big old brush. I'm going to add a bunch of blue onto it. And I'm just going to come close to, but not touching, my Mike Wazowski. Every once in a while, I'm going to dip my brush in water and bring it right back to the canvas just to get that, like, drippy goodness that we all... Just kidding, we don't all love it. I love it! Okay. Let's get her in there. Let's put some more blue, like I'm going over those drippy lines. Oh, it almost looks like he's peeing right there, Sarah, if you want to stick it. If you want to stick with that. Do. And again, this like messy, watercolory, tie-dye effect. It's kind of a signature of mine, I guess. I'm just a messy, lazy painter, but I love the results that come out of it. And you know what else is another Taytayski signature with, oh my gosh, Ilham. Is Ilham still around? If I say his name, will you hear his ears tingling? But Ilham's favorite thing, it's also my favorite, but Ilham made me love it even more. Up drips, everybody. You drip that painting upside down. And do the same old thing you were doing before. Do. And get some of those up drips. But see how I'm going like I said, close to but not touching Mike himself. So you kind of get this like painted, rough border, kind of, sort of. It just looks cool, okay? Take it from me. I may be a little biased, but... How is that? I got a bunch of paint chunkies in there, but we're living for those today. Look at that. And again, it's gonna dry way different because it's nice and wet. I don't know what's giving my Mike Wazowski such like stoner vibes, but that's what we're getting out of him. And remember, hey, if you want to add a little glitter in there, this is a perfect time to lay your painting flat. Sprinkle some glitter in there. Chef's kiss. Okay. How you like them apples? Boop. There we go. We've got a crazy little Mike Wazowski, if I've ever seen one myself. Let's see how it's like dripping down. That's kind of cool. We'll see how that dries. How is he? What do I feel like he's missing? I don't know what it is. You guys tell me, everyone painting away. Is there anything else you need? Just make that lip a little bit darker. Who knows what it is? But this is how he shall stay. This is how he shall stay. And since I'm getting no response, that either means you're still painting away, you're done, everybody's gone. Just kidding. I see that you're not all gone. Okay. Mike Wazowski, you are so cute to me. If you want, you can put pure white highlights. Oh my gosh, you sent in your picture. Exciting, you guys. Exciting, our first show the class. Gotta tuck kiddos into bed. Thanks. Oh, okay, perfect. Good night. Hey, I'm glad. How do we feel about the new time? We did it an hour earlier than usual. And how do we love this time? Okay, perfect. I love it, says me. Okay, okay, that is all I need. We got 2 loves it. 3 loves it. The new time is a success. Because you guys haven't seen me in 6 months, but I'm domesticated suburbanite now. I don't stay up all night anymore. I go to bed at like 1 a.m. It's wild. So now we just earlied it up a little bit. Okay, let me see. Let me bring my Instagram up here. And see who we've got. Oh my god, what do you mean be fair, Nikki? Look at how cute. You mean be fair. He turned out great. Look at that splattered background as well. Oh my goodness, I love it. Okay, I'm just because I haven't done this in so long, I'm gonna put up this little white square quick when I go into some people's. Just so that, okay, here, yeah. So we don't read all of each other's messages because that is possible too. Hold on. Let's look at this little cutie right here. Ah! Kept it PG for their son, right? Didn't add no peens, didn't add no weens. Super cute though. Ooh, you did the teeth great. You got teeth better than I. Better than I. Who do we have? Anyone else in here? Any other pictures of any other? Let me see. Let me refresh this in here. Oprah of props. Hey, oh my gosh, here's another one. Oprah, Oprah, Oprah. Oh my gosh. You sweet, sweet little cutie. I can't even keep up with all the props in the chats right now. You guys, Oprah of props is just spoiling me. Spoiling me. Oh my gosh, and then the rest of yous are jumping in. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you. Look at this little guy. Okay, you all did great. They all turned out so cutie. Let me know if there's another one in there sending through. Oh my gosh, you guys, just spoiling away. Thank you. So cute. So cute. Look at all of our little guys. Amazing. Look at this first day back. We crushed it. Next week, we're going to be doing Bart Simpson. I think that will be a good one. Good old Bartimus. Bartholomew. I don't know what his real name is. But we're going to do Bart Simpson. And then the next week, we are going to be doing a panda. Bart Simpson, panda. New show is fresh. Oprah. Thanks. I can take no credit. I can take no credit. I have talented friends. They're not here right now. But they whipped up this beauty for me. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah, we're talking about the next week's. Next week, Bart Simpson. The week after that, Oprah. And that's all we got for now. I'm not going to be too advantageous. We're going to keep it nice and easy for now. I kind of feel like this looks like Baby Mike. We made a Baby Mike. Baby Mike Wazowski. Oh my gosh, I guess. What does that mean? It's time for thumbnails. I don't know what to do. I'm not... Which side did I usually have it on? This side? I'm just in the darkness. It's not set up right for me to do thumbnails, I don't think. I obviously just have to Photoshop myself into Sully, I feel like, right? Ooh, it's dark back here. How do we make him good? This is good. This is good. I'm dark. What if I'm up here? In the darkness. Should I high five him? I know, I totally should be Sully. So I'll just Photoshop myself into Sully. Let's get that in there. And that will be me. Isn't Sully just smiling and cutie? Done. Oh my gosh, looking at him, he's just so funny. Sully high-fiving him. That's good. Hi-cha. Oh, get him in there. We're laughing. One of those will do. One of those will do. Oh my gosh, well, I feel like I had a slow start. Thanks for sticking it out with me, all y'all caffeiners and all you YouTubers if you make it this far. We're back. We're back. That's all I can say. It's nice to see so many of you back. The family's back together. We're gonna be creative every Thursday again. And we're gonna paint some fun things. Right, everybody? I appreciate you. And I will catch you on the flip side, okay? See you. Oh my gosh, you're just giving me props on my way out. I'm just like, bye.